Hello and welcome to this sample lesson in psychology. My name is Alina and today we're going to be learning about rationality and reasoning. First thing we need to do is define what rationality actually is. In this lesson we're going to be defining rationality as using reason or logic to make decisions. Now as humans we like to all believe that we're fairly rational in making decisions, but in real world reasoning situations we're often unable to make decisions with complete certainty. So we have to use some sort of approximation instead. One possible approximation that we use is probability. Probability specifies a set of rules for determining how likely different outcomes are to occur. So for example, if two events are independent, how likely is it that they will occur together or co-occur? This means that we have to use statistics about different outcomes and then use our intuitions to make appropriate judgments. Probability is therefore really helpful in ambiguous situations because we don't need every single piece of information to make an appropriate judgment. We're now going to look at two examples from two different studies of questions where we've been testing whether people do actually use probability when reasoning. The first example is the Monty Hall problem, which was tested by Gramberg and Brown in 1995. If you're not familiar with the problem, it goes a little bit like this. You're on a game show and you're told that there is a prize hidden behind one of three doors, in this case A, B, and C. You're asked to pick one of the doors just at random. For example, in this situation, let's say you pick A. The game show host then tells you that the prize is not behind one of the other doors, in this case door C, and opens the door to show you. You're then asked whether you want to switch to the last remaining door, in this case door B, or stick to your original answer, i.e. door A. Should you switch to door B or should you keep your original choice? If you're not familiar with the problem, you can pause it here and take a minute to think about what your answer would be. The second example was tested by Bar, Hillel and Falk in 1982, and the problem goes something like this. There are three cards placed into a hat. One is taken out at random and placed on a table. The side facing up is red. What's the probability that the other side is also red? In this case, the cards are one card with both sides red, one card with both sides white, and one card with one side red and one side white. And in this study, participants were given three options to choose from. Again, if you're not familiar with this example, you can pause it here and take a minute to think what your answer would be. According to probability theory, you should switch in the Monty Hall problem, but in the study that we looked at just here, only 10% of participants did so, with the rest choosing to stick with their original answer. For the second question, the correct answer is 2/3. But the results from this study again found that only 6% of people gave the correct response. So it seems that when answering these sorts of questions, we don't just use probability, even when the judgment itself involves numbers, meaning we should easily be able to use probability to work them out. Maybe then we're not as rational as we like to think. In psychology, there is a concept called a normative theory and a descriptive theory. Now, a normative theory is something which describes what we ought to do, how we ought to reason in this case, how we should be reasoning. Descriptive theories, on the other hand, describe what we actually end up doing. So maybe in this case, we would say that probability is more of a normative theory, so it describes what we should be doing. But in reality, it's not the case. We don't use probability all the time when we're reasoning. That means that the search for descriptive theory is not complete. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to psychology. If you have any questions or would like to learn more, just email alina@abclondon.org.uk. I look forward to doing more lessons with you all. Thank you.